Hi, and welcome to my channel. This video is about Minnesota. Apparently, Minnesota is the only state in our country that doesn't offer vaccines yet for people that have medically fragile children that might be one of the first that needs it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about here, right? Well, before we start and get into this, remember, this is only my opinion. This is not to be considered fact, and it is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so how this has been going on now. People have been questioning Katie Joy over and over about why she doesn't get her vaccination. After all, she is one of the caretakers. Her and her husband are caretakers for a medically fragile child. So surely their doctors would get them in, get that vaccination in. And it made no sense to her very own members and subscribers, as you're about to hear here in just a minute. This video, or her video that I'm going to show, was, I believe, April 18th. So you have a time frame here on either Katie Joy is lying or she is ignorant of the facts of how the vaccines are working, which doesn't seem likely, right? Because with having the child, you'd think she'd be on top of this, like, right away. And on top of that, no one has complained more about the people not following mandates. Mask. She has ripped people apart over the mask they're not wearing, that she believes they're not wearing on purpose and causing trouble for her child. Yeah, she even brought up that when the police came to her house, they were like bringing the chance of bringing in disease. Just going to throw this out there, that the last time she mentioned the police came to her house, that was a lie. I now know for 100% sure that the last time, which I probably should have the date of that as I'm speaking, but the pathological liar made that up. I'll try to show that better in another video, but that was a lie too. So anyway, she's so on everybody about what they're doing, how they're causing all these problems, but she is not on top of when and where she should be getting a vaccination. So the next part here, you're going to listen to her explain her reasoning, which she's tried to do this over and over again, which makes no sense. But then again, it is KJ. So listen to her, and then we'll talk on the other side.
So people said I was approved to go to a special place an hour away. I'm not globally approved. You have to fill out a work, like they said, you can come here and we'll do it, which was an hour plus away. Or you can fill out with the state and the state will notify you when you can go. And that's what I did. So plus the only appointment they had was like April 30th for that. So I figured if I filled out with the state, I would get notified. And that's what I'm waiting for.
So I paused it here on part of the film because I wasn't the only one finding it really strange that all of America is being vaccinated, but for some reason KJ isn't globally, whatever the hell that meant, prepared to be able to have a vaccine And so she was struggling with trying to fix her story, but she's just waiting then on the state. Well, multiple people, and I paused it here. This one, Pestigo Pam, says, why is Minnesota so behind on vaccinations? Other states have no issues. This was one of several comments she gets, and it's hysterical. A woman from Wisconsin says, Wisconsin doesn't seem to have this problem. Michigan lady speaks up. I mean, it was over and over and over. And so she is, right now, the video part that's cut out, she's rambling about a whole nother story, which I'll tell you about in a second. So now I'm going to stop here, and you can hear what she says once she starts reading all these comments about why is Minnesota having all this trouble. So listen to this.
Charlie, come on, buddy.
Everyone's talking about vaccines and literally nobody's paying attention to what I'm talking about. But anyways.
Oh, yes. How dare they talk about vaccines when she's trying to create a whole new story, an unbelievable story. But everyone in her audience, even her loyalist few, knew there's something wrong. They stopped. They did the healthcare, and the frontline workers were months ago, and they knew that it was way past time that KJ was eligible for her vaccine. So that's why they wouldn't stop, talking about it. Then on top of it, it spends 7 minutes. If you're old enough to remember John Lovett as the pathological liar, you'll know what I'm talking about here. But if you don't know who he is, please Google it, YouTube it. You will see KJ in action, including even the eye rolls and the looking aways and the whole shebang. But she's trying to convince everyone that she was involved in the Walmart that they boarded up because of the cop in Brooklyn Center that killed the young man, thinking it was a taser, all that story. But she was not there. She was not there. And she knows it. And she goes to great lengths to explain, well, it's not the closest, but I don't even live by there. She goes, and then she realizes she has to live by there to go to Maple Grove or someplace like that. So then she goes, oh, yeah, I do live. That's right. I forgot. I do live by Maple Grove, but really not that close. And I don't know where I live. I live in a suburb. No, not really a suburb. You guys, it was hysterical. 7 minutes of that BS. And that's when everybody's saying, hey, but the vaccines, what are you thinking? They couldn't figure out why they had to pay attention to this rambling lie when the truth was, we're talking about the vaccines to begin with, and then she changed the subject to this boarded up Walmart. So as you can see on the screen, it says every Minnesotan age 16 years and older is eligible to get their first shot when? After Tuesday, March 30th. This was April 18th, and she's still hanging to this cockamamie story. Literally, I'm gonna show you the footage that I just cropped out because you got to see it for the John Lovett aspect of it. But this story is supposed to be about the vaccine, so let's continue about that. So what I did as a good citizen is I went to Minnesota. I Googled Minnesota vaccines, and it came up Minnesota COVID response. So this is from that site. This says, again, as of March 30th, all Minnesotans 16 years of age and older are eligible to receive a vaccine. So we have it there. But they made it really nice and really simple because you can go to scroll down and you can go and click in where they might be giving the shots that they're aware of, where you can get vaccines. So that's where I went next. And this is what it looks like. Find the vaccine locations. As you can see, it's Minnesota, their COVID response place. And so you can just scroll down and it's going to come to a part where you can click, and it's going to show you with little blue dots where they know you can get vaccines. Vaccines are like, they have vaccine there, so, you know, the actual product. So then I click that. So as you can see, and this is a huge swath of Minnesota. Katie lives in sort of this area. These are all within driving distance of Katie's house. And if you clicked on those, they're not live now, but if you would have been live, it would have told you where the place was and how to get an appointment and if you're eligible. And basically anybody over 16 is eligible now, so you would have been eligible. But you could click it. But it made me think, why isn't it like down where I live? I would think there's a chance. So I took a chance. So this is what I did next. I went to Walgreens because I figured there must be Walgreens somewhat close. And by golly, there were several close by. And so I thought I better double check. So I actually called them on the phone. And yes, they have the vaccine. And yes, they're making appointments. You could actually be put on a list and maybe even get in today if you can come at a moment's notice. Like if they could call you and say, we got a 4:15 appointment. Can you make that? And say it's 3:30. Yes, I can make it. No, I can't. Whatever. But they can. They're even taking in that type of appointment. So if you can be on standby, you could get an appointment that very day. So I double checked with Katie's Walgreens, and that was the truth. She could get in, and if not, it was less than a 4-day waiting period. So the appointments would be, the worst case would be 4 days out. Now remember, she was talking it was going to be long time, months, and then maybe on that one could be April 30th, and that's way far out there. So yeah, she's full of crap, and yeah. So I want to show you too that I did put in her zip code and stuff. So yeah, see here, I blocked it out so you can't see, but I had to put in the name of her town and then her zip code. And as you can see, even here it says appointments are available in the next 4 days. Well, they worded it a little differently here than the lady did on the phone. But even if this is the worst case scenario, it was 4 days out, Katie. 4 days was out. So I thought, well, make sure it's close by. So my next step was to make sure of that. So yes, I did double check. I have removed all of the information that would show any addresses or anything here, any streets. It's all gone. But the bottom red dot is right close to Katie's house, and the top red dot, as you can see, is Walgreens. You can see here, it is 8 minutes away. Not an hour or 2 hours or whatever the hell she was spinning. Now, I wouldn't have had to look all this up, except the pathological liar has to make all that crap up. So, I'm sorry, but no, honey, it is 8 minutes to the nearest Walgreens. Here's what's interesting. I did Walgreens. There are even closer places with other pharmacies that I didn't recognize their names, but I called them and they have the vaccine too, and they're closer yet. So, CVS, Cub Foods, something Kempler. I'm sorry, these names, but all kinds up there that must be familiar to her. So there was lots of options here. She didn't have to wait with her medically fragile child that she should be protecting as she's slamming every other parent that she can get her. The Duggars have been terrible to their children, and so have sister wives and the Bates and outdaughtered. No, she slammed every parent. Now, Katie, where the hell is your vaccine? Yeah, so next thing, let's look at this. Just in case you didn't remember what it looks like, Katie, since you can't seem to get there, this is the Walgreens I'm talking about. This is the one that is 8 minutes away. There you go. So you can see it. This is what it looks like. It says Walgreens. They got vaccinations there, Katie. You can get yours just like the rest of us. Quit lying. Quit BSing. Quit pretending. Quit being a mean-mouthed woman, bad-mouthing other people's parenting. Stop it. Just stop it. It's ridiculous. So before I end the video here, I just wanted to tell you that as you plug all that stuff in online, I literally was able to make Katie an appointment and Todd an appointment at the exact same time so they could go together. Now, I didn't end up finishing it. I would have had to submit. I didn't, but I could have. So it was that easy, guys. Katie, it's super, super duper easy. You don't have to answer any, medical questions. You just have to be 16 or over. So I hope you're done lying about your damn shot. But it does make for pretty funny material with your pathological lying. This particular video of, it was, I believe, April 18th, yes, between the drinking and the lying, it was the combo. Trust me, there's so much material this video offered. You guys, she should never do an IG live or a YouTube live while she's drinking because the lies just pour out of her. Okay, guys, that's it for tonight, or for today. I will see you soon with more. Oh, so much more. So long.